Okay, so we have Ian the Green Bean Garry stepping in on short notice, taking on Carlos Prates for the main event of this week's coming fight night. All right, with Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree getting canceled for the second time. Cursed matchup. We may never see it, boys, but respect to Ian Garry. I like making fun of his veganism, and he eats a lot of soy, but in reality, we have to respect Ian Garry for this. He's going to put on a good fight, hopefully, even though every one of his fights ends up being boring, and he's claiming he's going to take his head off. He was steaming when he didn't get the title shot against Bilal. Like, I don't know, man. Like, Ian Garry says some dumbass shit, but we're going to do some early predictions for the matchup, and I think this is a very 50-50 matchup, I really do, but when you actually break it down, and you break down each guy's strengths and weaknesses, it's pretty simple. It's pretty bare bones, you know? You look at Ian Garry and how he fights and what happens in his fights. He's just not a very good boxer, you know? He's got outstruck by his last two opponents, avoided the boxing at all costs against Jeff Neal, okay? And my prediction is I think Carlos Prates is going to knock him out, man, in the third round, okay? And I know, oh my God, you're picking the knockout artist by knockout. What a prediction. But I see a lot of people saying, I don't know, man. Ian Garry, man, he might get it done. He might use that craftiness, that experience, that gas tank, that grappling. All right. Ian Garry has zero wrestling. Okay. He's all jiu-jitsu scrambles. The only time he got top position or got the back of Shavkat was through a scramble where Shavkat initiated the wrestling, initiated the grappling, and made a mistake, a sloppy mistake, and Ian slurped that shit up like soy, and took advantage of it and got a dangerous position on him. But Prates is not going to initiate the grappling. He has good grappling defense, good takedown defense, has been iron in the UFC so far. No one's been able to test it at all. I don't think he's got taken down one time, okay? Maybe against Trevin Giles once, I forget. I did rewatch the fight, but I forget already. But no, I don't think he did, okay? And, like, you just look at how Carlos Prates fights, and you look at what Ian Garry struggles against. He struggles against power punchers, people who believe in their hands, and fuck logic for a second. Just listen to this. Do you really think Ian Garry is gonna be the guy to end the Fighting Nerds run? They're undefeated, like unmatched, unheard of before type run in the UFC so far, where the whole gym, all four of them, fuck Bruno Brazil, all four of them undefeated, going crazy in the UFC right now, all different divisions. Do you really think Ian, the green bean, the soybean, the lean mean man himself is gonna get this shit done? Fuck that. What Bryce Mitchell couldn't do. What Cannonier couldn't do. Bro. It's not going to happen, okay? He's not going to be the guy to do that, alright? And let's get back into the logic of this, okay? Like I said before, Ian Garry struggles with his boxing, okay? He also has never had to face someone who's going to throw calf kicks back at them, who's going to chop the lead leg back, okay? He may be early in his career, but in his last few fights, he hasn't had to deal with that. He's been the only person in his last 3 or 4 fights kicking, okay? Or, like, obviously, I'm sure it's the people kicked somewhat, but mostly, it's just been Ian Garry freely kicking at range, managing the range very well. He's very good at that, very similar to Israel Adesanya. But, man, Prates he's nasty, man, okay? He not only has power in his hands, I do believe he's one of the worst 2 fighting nerds. Like, if you rank them 1 through 4, he's probably one of the bottom 2. I do think his grappling will be exposed by someone who has good wrestling. I think his stance does leave him open for double legs really badly. He's very, like, leaning on his back leg, like, flowing back, just, like, waiting for stuff, trying to see everything really perfect and waiting to throw knees up the middle and just jab and, like, nasty power hooks, like, with everything he's got in him. But Carlos Prates is a very good striker, and his defense does make me worried. Ian Garry could head kick KO him. If that happens, I said it in the video, okay? That could happen. But he has a good chin. It's been tested. He does kind of put it on the line too much. It makes me scared. Defense is kind of sus at times. But at times, he also is slipping and ripping with punches very well. So, I don't know. It's a bit hit or miss, but Carlos, like, he's not getting knocked out by the hands of Ian Garry. Ian Garry has very pillow-like hands, okay? He has powerful kicks. He has, like, decent knees, but Carlos Prates, he's going to be the one kneeing here. He's going to be the one eating up Ian Garry's body, throwing knees up the middle, destroying his body. Nasty jabs, nasty hooks. He's going to be the one on the front foot marching Ian Garry down. Ian Garry's always on the back foot. This is exactly how Carlos Prates is going to want it. I do believe Ian Garry could have a strong first round where he gets a takedown maybe from a scramble or a trip or just like floats on the outside and Carlos is a bit too plotty and he just gets outpointed and loses the first round. Maybe even loses the second similarly to how the first goes. But I believe in Carlos Prates. I think he believes in himself very well. That's why he's plotty. He believes that he's going to find that one shot because that's all he needs against Ian Garry. It's all he needs. One shot to hurt him, and he will let him stand up. If he drops him, he's going to let him stand up. He has a good IQ. He's not going to be dumb and get on top position and do nothing with it and get his wrists held like a lot of people do in fumble finishes, okay? He's going to finish Ian Garry in the third round after a probably pretty lackluster competitive kickboxing fight in the first two where Ian Garry, I could see winning both, honestly, but I just think Prates believes in himself. He waits and he's plotty for a reason. Ian Garry struggles with power punchers. He's scared of the power clearly, and Carlos Prates is the first guy he's had to fight who actually believes in his ability to get the finish because MVP folded that finish so bad. He was outclassing him on the feet. He could have been more aggressive. He could have went forward more. He could have went for the finish more. Jeff Neal, retard, just walking forward, didn't cut the distance off at all, which Prates is very good at doing. And Shavkat Rakhmonov straight up outstruck Ian Garry on the feet, okay? He's just not really that good of a boxer. He's just really not. So I think Prates is going to knock him out, man. And I know everyone's saying, man, if this goes to decision, Prates is fucked. But honestly, I know I just said I think Ian's probably going to win the first or second round at least. He's going to win one of the first two rounds. I think Carlos can win rounds with just one significant strike because Ian is so plotty on the feet. He's so point fighty. Like, he just kicks at range and goes for head kicks that never really land or do anything. I know he knocked out C-Rod with one, but that was one time, man, okay? He's just so plotty. I think Carlos can edge out rounds. And Carlos is very low output and plotty too at times, but, I know I smoke and I drink cigarettes, but, I don't think his gas tank is that bad. Obviously, he's young, and it's probably going to get really bad as he gets older, but I don't think it's that much of a problem right now. I think he can smoke a cigarettes and be fine. I really do, so it's degenerate. He's a degenerate, but he's a badass fighter, and I like watching fights, so I don't really care about that, to be honest, as long as we get this shit done, man, because if you let the P-head end your guys' run, Prates, you actually need to stop smoking and drinking for good, right on the spot. You better make a promise in the post-fight interview if they let you do it if you lose, because fuck that. You cannot lose to this dude, all right? And I do hate Ian Garry, but he can win this. He can win this on points, And maybe I'm underestimating his wrestling. I just don't see, he doesn't have a takedown. He doesn't have a double leg. He doesn't have a single leg. The only chance he has of getting Prates down is pushing him up against the cage and getting a trip. We're just pulling him down and hopefully, hoping he scrambles and gets on top, or gets the back. That's how I see this fight going. I know it is closer than I made it seem. I did say it was 50-50 at the beginning, though. It is a 50-50 fight. It really is. Maybe 60-40 on Prates' side. I don't know the odds. I really don't. I assume Carlos Prates will be the favorite coming off of his win streak and Ian Garry coming off of a loss. But, neither guy should get a title shot off of this. That's what I think. I don't think any of these guys deserve a title shot off of this win. And yeah, Ian Garry, stop talking like you're coming off a win. You're coming off a loss. And he did go from undefeated to coming off of a loss. So usually when these guys are going their crazy undefeated streaks and they come off of a loss, they usually end up going on a 2-fight loss streak. Or going 1-1, 1-1. You one win, 1 loss, 1 win. So I could see the downfall of Ian Garry beginning here, coming off of a win or a loss, going on a 2-fight loss streak. Yeah. That's the prediction. I think Prates gets it done in the third round by knockout. I hope I described it good. It's like 4 a.m., but I just thought I would record this because it's so easy. People are going to be picking E in the P head and being like, yeah, man, he's underrated. He gets it done. Fuck that. Prates is going to knock him out. Bad style matchup for Ian. Yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.